Hi there, good day. Welcome to the A Travel Companion podcast. Usually we talk about travel. However, there is little or no news except for the virus and how you cannot travel. But that said, we are very, very pleased to have in the studio in Chiswick today the CEO and founder of CleanTech Region Impact Group. Now, he is also the founder of the largest CleanTech event in the Nordic-Baltic countries, where the name of that is Nordic Impact Week. And you can find out a lot more on the website cleantechregion.com. It was fantastic to have him on the podcast. You can also find more on our website, that's podcast.earth. And without further ado, here he is, Lars Ling.
Where are we?
We are here in Chiswick, in Spaces, which is like we work. And I am here with Lars Ling. Lars, hi, good day, how are you?
Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm very, very well, except for all the viruses going around, isn't it?
What can you do?
Not much. Not much. You can just keep on living and see what will happen, I suppose, at a certain point. Now, Lars, you're the CEO, founder of CleanTech Region Impact Group, which was founded 12 years ago, 2008. And I understand that you have organized quite a few events in this time, have done quite a few interviews as well, I just heard. And some people call you the rock star of CleanTech in Northern Europe.
Fantastic.
Why would they say that?
I love that.
You like that, yeah?
Well, you have to ask them.
I'll ask them. But do you have any idea, any inclination why they would say something like that?
Yeah, I think, what they're saying is that apparently I'm making impact in this field and they like it. Mm-hmm. And basically that's it.
That's it, fair enough. And you work together with private brands, governmental organizations, academia, and also with municipalities and also chambers of trade. That's quite a bit, I must say. And you have a lot of experience yourself as a serial entrepreneur.
Correct.
Yeah. And is there anything that you would like to plug at this point?
Yeah, no, I'm a happy guy from Sweden.
Yeah.
And
Sweden, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. I'm born in Sweden.
Yeah.
And love life in general, and you got to take care of every second.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you're London. Are you stuck in London with the virus, or how does that work?
I'm stuck in London.
Yeah, forever and ever and ever?
Well, I lived here since 2017, and I've been traveling a lot. But right now I came here because I'm preparing for the autumn Nordic Impact Weeks, and but right now this Corona is escalating.
Yeah.
So right now it's pretty uncertain. I can't stay in the house with my friends either, so I'm staying at hotel.
Right.
And as I told you before, now they're closing down the hotels as well. So
really? Are they using the beds for people that are ill, or
no? It's recommendation
from the government to close the hotels, right? Oh, okay, that's not good. What are you going to do then? You going to stay in Airbnb or fly back to Sweden, or what's the option?
Working on the streets.
Or on the streets, yeah. Sleeping under the bridge or something like that, yeah.
No, we'll get a look at alternatives. So see if we can find apartments or Airbnb.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've got a friend who does that as well, Airbnb. Okay, and you've been passionate about sustainability and a sustainable world for 14 years already, since 2006.
That's correct.
What drives you? Why are you so...
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's kind of an human evolution every day from a personal point of view. But for me, the start was when I met one of my mentors, Anders Nyquist. He's an 85-year young eco-architect.
I was going to ask you about that later. That's good. Yeah.
No, before that, I moved back to the Nordics, to Sweden from Australia.
Right.
And it was like a blank white paper for me. And as everything coincidences, I met with Anders Nyquist. And he's an eco-architect, and one of the words he said to me in the beginning, we talk about green buildings and energy efficiency in houses and how you build societies. And he said, Lars, we have to stop build storage boxes for people. We got to start with the social vision. And that was kind of the starting point for me and my interest to see that what is most important, what's the core of sustainability? Well, it's you and me.
Yeah.
because if we don't function, we have a social vision, nothing else matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. And he has a cycle village Rampan. That is what I read, and built by him quite a long time ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah, he started. He was early with this. So what everybody are looking for today as a regenerated village or an environmental eco-village, he started to build 50 years ago.
50 years ago, but sustainability was not really a thing at that point, wasn't it?
No, he was early.
He was early. He just wanted to build something that's green and good for the environment, or was there any vision behind that?
Well, it's about look at all the systems, how you actually are looking to, and that's what circular economy and regeneration is about. And you're looking at all the flows, the systems, energy, water, sewage, food production, produce your own food, looking at all the flows.
Okay, so circular economy, that's what he is really standing for.
In practice.
And you as well?
Well, circular economy is like everything, it's a made-up thing, right?
Right.
What is circular?
It's a term,
It's a term that we can put, meaning to it in terms that we look in all the flows we have in the world and society, look at water, for example, energy production, how is that happening today? If you look in all other flows in a city or a village, from how a product is produced to it's consumed, and what do we do with it, and does it have a value, and do we care about it, or do we just use one thing very short time and we throw it away? I mean, it's all value. So what's most trending today is waste to value, where you're basically looking at everything, it's not waste, it's value. And if you go to other countries, emerging countries, and you go to Africa or other markets where they don't have the luxury as we have in developed countries to throw away things after they have used it one time.
To keep it for a long time with a plastic spoon or something, is that what you mean?
Well, anything of value, they don't throw it because it has a value. So that's why a lot of waste to energy projects in Africa hasn't happened, because there's no waste.
Right. Okay.
Everything gets reused, from old tires, old metal pieces, anything that you can reuse. Yeah. So that's also kind of the mantra that Anders had. You got to reuse, recycle, and
you also work alongside the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, so for 2030. Some people say we really have to do something now. I spoke with Extinction Rebellion. They said 2025, otherwise the world will go under. Then you have people that say, we're working towards 2050. Why 2030 for you, if I may ask?
Yeah, good question. Well, I'm going to bring some hope here to it.
Okay, good.
The world is not going to go under.
That's good. Fantastic news. Thank you.
Really good news. I like everyone who support everyone who wants to contribute to positive change in that. But if you're looking in terms of the day, the sustainability goals are also fantastic. Yeah. It's a great initiative. It's created a common language for people to learn what's important and so on. But if you're looking on climate change as such, I might differ here because I believe it's climate change is not the problem that we have.
Okay. What is the problem?
You and me, Peter.
Me.
We the humans are the problem. So what we need is human change.
Okay.
We can start and take action today. And we're sitting here today in the time of Corona, and everybody now is looking, look, there's dolphins in Venice. Hey, look, the air is clean. Hey, look. Well, that's proof that it works. So it's up to you and me, and every second we can make decisions how we want to act. So there's enough money in the world today. There's also solutions to address the climate challenges. Right. So why aren't we doing it, Peter?
I'm not sure. I'm sure that if they see that there's money coming in from being more sustainable, and I'm sure there's plenty of examples of companies that are moving in that direction, and they actually see, hey, this is good for my back pocket, then that might inspire other organizations and companies to do the same.
Yeah. So could it be that we're simple habitable humans.
Pretty much so, yeah. Pretty much so. Unless someone says, well, we're not actually. So that's why it's good that there are also organizations like Extinction Rebellion, and there's people like the lady from your country as well, who is very inspirational. And I might not believe everything that she says, or what she stands for, but I do think that she makes companies and even governments move into a certain direction, a direction of change. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, that's my mission. What the world needs today, and everyone who's involved in these decisions, transformation, if we can call it, from a fossil to renewable world, they need help. And that's the kind of help I want to contribute and support everyone, every decision maker, from a banker, finance, from a mayor, from a civil servant in a municipality, a corporate business owner, an insurance company, anyone on the supply chain who can make it happen. They need support. And I want to support them with education, inspiration, not only the best practice solutions to address, but as human individuals, I want to support them and corporations.
Okay, and you say via education, that means educating organizations, government, and do you work together with education? Do you work with universities yourself? I understand that you in California, where you've been as well, you worked with universities, or?
Been a lot in California, but I have a favorite place where I've been, and I said I visited spaces in Helsinki, so. Last 2 years, I spent a lot of time in Helsinki in Finland, and I love their approach and the education system.
Why is that?
Well, Finland is ranked number 1 in the world in education. They are very pragmatic, progressive, and no bullshit.
Right.
And they support individuals, and they actually put demands, requirements on students. But it started a little bit earlier, and for Finland, this journey, this is my version. It started with a challenge when Nokia and the last crisis, Nokia shut down, and also you had a lot of students who said that this education system and model is not good enough.
Okay.
So they started a movement of of startups and entrepreneurship. And that's where this sort of Finnish success accelerated and took off. And Startup Sauna, one of the biggest startup events, Slush, was born. And Finland today is ranked number 1 in education in the world. Basically,
what requirements do they have on students? You mentioned the requirements on education and on students.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, requirements. You mentioned that they require certain standards from their students, correct? Or
well, requirements are more practically hands-on. Really supporting teachers.
Teachers, yeah.
Which you see in many countries, there are different approaches. I'm Swedish myself, and I can see there's a big difference.
Okay.
From other countries, but they really support their teachers.
In a particular way, or?
Well, they are fairly paid and supported with tools, so they have a very important role, a key role in society. Because it's about education in the world. That's if we should summarize, how do we create a better society world? Well, we need to be enlightened. We need information, education, awareness. And the core of sustainability starts with you and me again here, right? So wherever you are on your journey, when you start school, you need the best possible support, tools, and help to become, to build your social skills.
Fair, that is absolutely correct. And you said the startup scene there, and you mentioned Slush, that is an event, and you have been involved yourself as well, as on your website?
Not been involved in Slush, but I've been following it, and how it started was this Nordic Impact Week that I've been organizing to Silicon Valley for 7 years. A lot of Finnish startups, entrepreneurs, and that led to contacts with Start North, a Finnish next generation education platform, and that led to connections with Helsinki, city of Helsinki.
Yeah.
So last year I've been helping and supporting Helsinki. So Helsinki and their neighbor cities in Finland has some really interesting plans how can we take the innovation ecosystem entrepreneurial support system to the next level.
Right. And how are you yourself involved with that?
I'm supporting Helsinki. We have started a little bit of collaboration, and Helsinki reached out a hand to Stockholm in Sweden and wanted to see how can we collaborate.
Yeah. Okay.
More
collaboration between the Nordic countries or globally as well, or
I would like to see more collaboration between the Nordic and also the Baltic countries.
The Baltic countries as well.
Yeah, so have an expression. There's a new word or term coming, or should we say new Nordics?
New Nordics, so there's
New
Baltic
Nordics.
Countries and the Nordic countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's about 34 million decently educated, developed countries, stable. You have functioning democracies still.
Why is it not functioning? Come on. Okay, so and that is collaboration and sharing of ideas, or how do we see that?
Well, it's the best example you can do in the world. Sharing good examples, not talk, tell, show, and show practice. So that's been very important, and that's what I brought with me from Anders Nyquist.
Yeah,
he's been, the most important learnings. We got to show and create good examples.
Good examples, and how do you share those examples? Or how do you plan to share those examples? I'm not sure.
Well, I started a magazine called Green Solutions from Sweden.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
2008. I have one with me here.
Okay, yeah.
So this actually, I should blame Anders a little bit on that, because there was really in 2008 a lot of interest from the whole world of green solutions, but there was no good material, no good place to tell a story and showcase good examples, and that's why I sort of started Green Solutions.
Okay, and now how are you doing it nowadays? Because obviously magazines are not really, in play anymore. I mean, I look at the magazine shop in the news agency next door, and they went from 2 walls of magazines to a quarter. Right? So
I believe that we should embrace technology.
Yeah,
of course, and let technology do all the sort of shitty things or boring things, right? So we can have intellectual, good, high quality time together as humans. But of course. The way how we consume and read has changed with technology. So most you can do digitally and virtually today as well. So, but I'm planning, there's an upgrade of the Green Solutions magazine coming now this year.
Okay, another magazine or digital magazine or something with video, or how do we see it?
Green Solutions has been virtually on issue platform from the beginning.
Okay.
Now we want to take that to the next level, to use technology to produce stories.
Okay.
And video and podcasts.
How interesting.
I learned. So much video, and you see in social media, video dominates today.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay, no, that makes total sense. So you can make like short stories, like short documentaries, like quite a few other companies have done as well, obviously, but in a different way, in a better way, I take it.
Yeah. No, I totally believe that, like many smart thought leaders says, Yuval Harari, everyone else, everything is a story.
Sure.
You are a story, Peter.
Thank you.
This is everything is a story, and in our common narrative. So it's then an art or an opportunity how you want to craft and tell that story. And what is this story? I mean, this is a story as well.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to craft your stories? Do you have an idea already? Have you got something outlined, or is that something that you're going to determine at a later stage? Or
I mean, this is a constant learning journey for you as a human evolution, or all the time. How do you convey a story in a good way? And what is the story? I mean, what is your story, Peter?
Well, I've traveled for a long time, 4 years. I did slow travel, not so much because of the environment, but just because I really believe that you get a better view of the people and the countries and the communities that you visit.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I like really staying in one place for a longer time. So all along, I've been almost a green traveler, I would say, without even knowing it. So, but I think that's I don't think the world is going down or in 5 years' time or 10 years' time or 20 years' time. I don't believe that at all. But I do believe that when I go to wherever I go, Fuerteventura, and I see a plastic bin bag, a black plastic on top of that bin bag, which is the worst for the environment, floating in the sea, and no one does anything about it. Or I see people just leaving stuff on the beach, or I think that's horrible. I think that's horrible. And if people just stay in a all-inclusive hotel and they don't care about the communities that they visit, they don't visit local restaurants and then experience and the locals, then I think that can be done in a better way. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I
totally agree. Here's this is not a commercial for SAS, Scandinavian Airlines.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but they did a really good commercial, and I like it. So, how can you change the world if you haven't seen it? So, how can we encourage governments, cities, anyone else to, particularly for younger generations, to actually see the world? And nowadays we could definitely embrace technology, like virtual and extended reality.
Yeah, is that some, because I saw on your website as well some links to Vive. Yeah, so is that something that you're looking into? AR, mixed reality, virtual reality? Is that the technology that you're going to use as well in the near future?
Absolutely, I'm learning about it, and it's. I don't know if you have tested virtual reality.
Yes, well, I have indeed, and I've got an app on the market for AR as well.
There you go. Then so these immersive experiences that you can actually create with technology is unbelievable. I totally believe that's the combination as well today, how you can actually educate in a better way.
Much better.
And there are so many proof of it now. I've tested different labs. I've been in Singapore some time ago, and I did a helicopter training.
Really?
I got stuck in the helicopter.
Really? Did you crash? Or?
No. I didn't get up in the air.
Oh, you didn't get up in the air?
Technical training.
Yeah. Was it like with virtual reality?
Full virtual.
Full virtual. So you took off as well in the helicopter?
No.
You just did the training?
Just practical service training.
Right, okay.
And I really believe, and I believe that Accenture had a study that was presented where in Tallinn, in Estonia, and this is Accenture Liquid Labs, Olesha, what's her name? Well, they presented that two scenarios. Normal now, today, if we talk here and we don't remind each other, in 1 week we forgot 50% of it.
Most likely,
in 2 weeks we forgot it all. But if you use technologies as virtual reality and you practically, we do it practically when we talk about it at the same time, it shows that you remember 90%. So what if we could use technology for any kind of practical learning, how to make up your bed, how to slice bread, how to be a good human citizen, for example.
That makes total sense to me. I've been using online courses for a long time, and I think it's actually better because you can go back if you don't understand something and do it in your own tempo. And I think that now as well, obviously I was going to bring it up with the coronavirus because everyone now has to, they're educated at home, they're schooled at home, and I think that the world will look totally different, and when this is all blown over, 6 months, maybe a year and a half, as they say, before it's all gone. I don't know. It could be 3 months as well, depending on really who you speak to. But I do think that with everyone being educated at home, people working from home, and the difficulties that I encounter at the moment, even big companies like Google and Apple, they have problems getting into the system because obviously their security seems to be a problem there. I think it might really turn out quite good for a lot of organizations. And if you can also choose the teacher at a certain point that teaches you something, as opposed to getting an average teacher, it might be better. I don't know.
This is what the Finnish startups in education is all about, to find better practical ways to learn. Not the 1600th century system where you have a linear monologue from someone, a professor, telling you how it is with no little interaction.
Yeah.
More than just this is the way how it is. And the world today, from society and corporations, that's not the requirements that students and youngsters are trained for.
Yeah. Do you think that if they do it in a different way and they don't have someone really to dictate how it is, do you think they might be easier to distracted from the task that's at hand? Learning?
Yes, I do believe that. It's a big challenge, as most things. How do you change a system that's been in place since 1600th century?
Yeah.
You know, this is the way how it is, this is always how we've done it, and so on. And so you need good leadership. I am genuinely a believer that we need more better practical leadership, and it's about leadership, from self-leadership. If we talk IT language, we need a new operating system on governments, clearly today, what we see, on civil society, on business, but the most important key component, what consists of a society, of a city, of a country, of a company, corporation, organization, is humans. And that's why we need human change. We need to start with the core, because if you look on the world today, it's really tech-driven and technically set up. Everything is about tech and unicorns. But what's most important, Peter? Is it the technology or your knowledge, usage, and the value it brings to you? Or the technology itself?
Yeah, I mean, I like I say, I fully believe in it, but I don't think it's easy to implement. But I think that the period we're going through now, the coronavirus, might make people think the same with, I believe, with conferences. We have Google I/O, which was obviously cancelled, and well, they wanted to do it streaming, but now they have cancelled actually fully. I don't know why, but maybe they feel that it's the biggest conference from Google really for developers, and maybe they feel that it might not be successful, and they don't want a unsuccessful summit. That might be one reason for it. On the other hand, WWDC, which is the biggest Apple developer conference, is going ahead fully streaming at this point. We have obviously trade shows being cancelled. ITB in Berlin, the largest travel show, was cancelled, and we also had a Nordic Impact week being postponed as well for the corona virus. Do you think that all these things are going to change, and do you think that new technologies might actually make people think, well, you know what, we don't have to travel all this way, book a hotel, pay for the ticket for the conference. We might save ourselves $5,000, let's say, dollars per person by not going and by doing this online, and people can be actually more immersed as well with augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, or just sitting in front of the computer and watching the videos, and might be much more economical. What do you think?
Mixed emotions here.
Right.
On one hand, yes, absolutely that we should embrace technology and that all this video, Skype, Zoom, everything you can use practically, it's about learning as well, to be used to do it. But I also believe that given the fact what's happening now with technology and everything, it's going to be even more important to have good physical meeting places. And you're sitting at one of those here spaces, for
Absolutely,
example.
yeah.
I genuinely believe that what's happening right now and where we're heading, we're 7.7 billion today in the world. By 2050, we have 3.3 more, 10 billion people.
Okay, really?
So 10 billion people that need energy, food, and water. They need meaning in life. They need a work, a job, right? They need somewhere to hang. So, and they need somewhere to live.
They can hang online.
Hang online, sure. Yeah, you can hang online. So yeah, what's going to happen with technology? Obviously, this is pushing it over. So people have to, right? So this is going to fuel the next, should we say, the new renaissance, the next paradigm shift into a new next level of society at all. Of course, it will, and it's already happening right now.
Yeah.
And when you discover that you can maybe even better conduct a meeting using Zoom and video and have more high quality. And I mean, if you would ask someone in Los Angeles, how does your day look like, to sitting in 5 hours in the car?
Yeah, I know. Everyone near San Francisco is in that boat, I believe, right?
Is that high quality of life?
For me, no, but I don't do that. I just take a brower's bike and I walk for like half an hour and I'm here.
So if more discover that as well, and then you come down to the core of essence of everything, the meaning of life.
Right. Okay. What is the meaning of life for you?
It's a pretty good question. Thank you for asking.
You're most welcome. Go ahead.
I've been thinking about it for 30 years. Who am I, what I'm doing, and what's the meaning?
Yeah.
And after hoovering most of books in the topics, for me, there's no meaning. The meaning is to give it the meaning you want.
Okay.
And that's kind of the revolutionary opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 42, right?
42, yeah. No,
42, well, that's the meaning of life. And,
yeah. So, I mean, since everything is made up, it's like a story as well. So, and it starts from you then. Every second, like in this, we're talking here now, you make a decision how you want to view things, how you want to act and how you want to do. And that's the beauty and the opportunity. So, and you come down, the whole society in 1600th century again here is the setup where we've been hammered with kind of a norms that we think it should be. I mean, remember when you were born, right? You come out there, ploop, right? And you're empty.
That's very graphical.
Like an empty house, right? Plop. Yeah. So with you have your DNA from your parents and something of vibrations in the environment they've been. I don't know, maybe rock concerts or something. I don't know.
Well, my father was a reverend, so no, I probably maybe have some church in me, but that has disappeared a long time ago.
You had that, and amen. Okay, so and then you're like an empty hard drive, and you're just longing for anything of information get thrown at you. So, and then you're going to start school, Peter, when you're 6 or 7, and then you're going to do logical things in this order. And that's sort of the setup in the world. Follow you to you're going to be down below, right? Again. Yeah. And it's kind of a preset what's expected. You're going to get education. You're going to be a producing, contributing person into society. You're going to meet a partner, get kids, a house, a wife, mortgage, so you can get into the system. And you're going to work and be a loyal, contributing person and working towards your reward when you're going to be retired. That's when you're going to start sailing and play golf and live life.
I never liked that idea of living life. That's why I went traveling and left my country, to be honest with you. I never wanted to just have a house and a kids and a dog and, and then when you're 60, you retire and then, there's a lawnmower coming past and wipes you off the earth and you think, what have I lived for? So that never appealed to me.
Yeah, no, that you're very unique then, because the most common or most people are in that rat race.
Yeah.
And one of the key things here with learning and other things is what if we can help and support more individuals then to find a better model and maybe a better way how we can create more happiness, if I would say that, because you come to the meaning then. And it's easy if you don't have prerequisites. And for me personally, being an entrepreneur for 30 years, I didn't have a rich uncle or an entrepreneurial family, so I had to go to the system. And the system is like this 1600th century setup.
Absolutely, I know.
And it's difficult. Like a cold, wet blanket killing my passion. So
Why do you say that?
Well, it's been that because it's always been telling me what to do and form me into a shape and not supporting what I really want to do.
So you don't think you get the support of society when you were growing up?
No.
Okay.
And that's why I'm now planning and preparing an initiative that's going to be the warm, supportive, inclusive blanket.
Very interesting, I must say. That's very interesting.
That's for another episode.
Yeah, I like that, actually. I really like that. Yeah.
And if you're looking on where I started, we are today, look at society is traditionally everybody going to be employed and be happy and working, right?
Yeah.
And safety, employed by an employer, holiday, pension, all kind of benefits.
Except for now, during the virus, people are being laid off, people are dying, right?
No benefits.
No benefits, nada.
So would that mean maybe that we're going to a more self-responsibility and we're all going to be acting like startups, but working in more collective models, new models, using technology? Apparently, I mean, in the world, I would say we are heading into the biggest business opportunity, unprecedented, in a new renaissance, and that's the growth of population.
And how do you see that?
Well, we're growing with 300,000 people a day, as I said. So we need energy, food, and water.
Yeah.
So, but not fossil. We need better energy sources. But to produce food and water, you need more water and more energy. So how are we gonna fix that?
Yeah.
And then you have the technology digital revolution, which means that there's new products and services that we're not aware of yet, and also new business models. This is the biggest opportunity. So if you're going to look on the market today, because this war in the world, I shouldn't say war, but conflict of communism or capitalism, and there's one's fault and everybody's fighting about it and shouting this and that. But I mean, we have agreed on a model today for tokens of exchange. If you do something and this costs $2 or something, right? Yep. We have agreed on that model. As long as we haven't replaced that model, this is how it works.
Would you like to replace that?
Well, I want to explore better ways of doing it.
Anything in your mind at the moment?
I mean, there's a lot of exciting technology with beyond blockchain, I would say, and use of technology in better ways too. Because if you look on what is money, money doesn't exist because it's created. Fiat currencies is created out of debt. You need to create debt to be able to print fiat currencies. And today, why it's going berserk in the world is because you have no underlying value assets real tied to these printed fiat currencies. And that was taken out 72 when they decided that it wasn't connected to gold. So currencies had an underlying real value. Basically today, a bank or institutions can print as much money they like. So what kind of society?
Inflation aside, I suppose.
What kind of society is that?
Yeah.
So, and what does it mean then if we could have better technologies beyond blockchain to digitally absolutely verify and quality assure the authenticity of something of these values?
How do you see that? Or if you want to talk about it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're looking on individual levels then today and our role in society, I will bring up that if you're looking on in the world today, coming back to what we said, this human change, we can fix poverty today, right? No one should have to be in poverty. So we have enough money in the world as well, but 1% controls nearly, up to 60% of all wealth.
Sure.
And it's not a wealth thing, it's the distribution and should we say equality in terms of that of to actually have the wealth. Who needs 1 billion today in this world? So this is a kind of a matureness of mindset and a leadership as well in the world.
A lot of billionaires are giving their money away or giving it on a piece of paper.
They are doing that, but I mean, maybe be a little bit of sticking out here and saying, okay, well, it's all hunky-dory and glory, everybody of giving away for philanthropy, but come on, philanthropy is a tax thing.
Well, Bill Gates is doing some good stuff.
Yes, but the billions he's giving away, why, with those billions, you would change the world.
Is he not doing that? He's eradicating diseases?
I don't know. What have you seen? Some changing the world things?
I think he eradicated, what was it? Was it polio or was it?
Didn't he sell the vaccines as well?
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. He's putting a lot of money into it.
Well,
he made a change in Africa
sure.
and the bill. And
But let's come back to the track here, because if you're looking to eradicate poverty today, it's $100 billion about that, and US alone spend $900 billion on military, and US biggest philanthropic fund, one of them, have 110 billion. So why isn't someone just making the decision?
Right, to take that away from the military.
Saying no one should be in poverty.
Yeah.
So, and there
can you do that? Can you eradicate poverty? Can you say it's going away, but just giving everyone some money?
Well, I got to turn the question to you then. What's the underlying reasons that, if you say the fact no one in the world, a human being, family, wants to have to escape to any other places if there's not really any dramatic, why is those flows and why is this immigrations and this unstable places in the world creating that people have to leave this? Because most people want to have a decent life. They want to be with their family where they are from. They don't want to be on an escape or an immigrant or trying to go to another country. Ask anyone, they wouldn't do that. So why do we have that kind of setup at all? So why don't we have better leadership in the world as well too? Because who benefits on all this? You get a look on the world as well, then start following the money.
Yeah. No, I understand that. But, people that leave their country from northern countries of Africa, for example, and they go to shores of Europe, they just want a better life. And I actually think that these are people that make a step. Yeah, a big step for them to leave their country and come here.
But Peter, this is about the leadership. If you look on history as well, so-called developed countries has exploited.
Of course, yeah, no doubt.
And in the world today, you have a new... what is China doing today, for example?
It's pretty much imperialism as well. Probably.
Yeah. So where is that coming from these countries and that are wanting to be using other countries in the way we have been doing? It comes from simple power from human individuals that you think that's kind of the optimum thing for you to be in power and doing that, but that comes with education and information and more awareness for humans as well then, and that's why that's the most important thing in the world: self-awareness and self-esteem. Self-esteem,
self-awareness, education. It all comes down to education, right? At a certain point. So that's what you're very much involved in.
If you have the knowledge, you have the awareness. Look in the world today.
Yeah.
It seems to be rare that we see an intellectual, respectful dialogue, conversation, except for this.
Thank you.
That was a good one.
That was a very good one. Yeah, indeed. Okay,
instead you're saying that it appears like we are all shouting at each other.
Right.
Well, you don't know that. You have right. I'm wrong. Yeah. You don't do this. Why?
Sometimes they do that with an academic background as well. I had this morning on Twitter that said that I didn't know because I was quoting newspapers on the coronavirus, and obviously the guy was a nurse, and he said, "Well, you can't say that." And my fiance is from Bergamo, right? Her family is there, so you had to give like 6 condolences yesterday, which is a lot. Yeah, and I said, that comes because the economic situation there, they did not want to shut down the city because that's where the factories are in the north, in Lombardy. They didn't want to close down the roads because it was an economical decision. And all I said was, well, in London, this could happen very well as well because they have been quite slow, and they're still quite slow in implementing the right measures. So I was basically put down by someone on Twitter who's a nurse and a traveler, and said that I was using uninformed sources and I should basically shut up because I didn't know. So basically that was shouting at that point at me, even though I was just giving my opinion on what I've read.
This is exactly what I talk about. It's not Mark Zuckerberg or other who have developed open platforms for us to communicate. Facebook is like an open city hall for us to all meet and have a great time and communicate. So why are someone then typing ugly things or unnecessary things? Because it's all energy.
Or clickbait.
or clickbaits or whatever, well, of course, someone will trying to use things for an opportunity to convey messages or convey people to do different things. But on the greater gooder side, it's like an open global city hall for us to meet and communicate.
You like that, Ian?
Yeah.
You like Facebook? Yeah.
I like all good communication platforms where we can communicate and interact. I mean, think before Facebook.
Yeah.
How did you interact and communicate?
Well, there was LinkedIn at that point, but I was not very happy with that platform at that point either, because I sent messages all over the place from my contacts without me knowing. But, you know.
I think it's a part of the revolution that we have digital tools today, how to interact socially. And this is kind of the beauty. We don't have to travel because we can do that instantly. We can choose when we want to do that as well. Yeah,
I like it, actually. I like it. I spend a lot of my time on the internet myself, I must admit. Maybe too much. Yeah. Then you say as well, well, we have the areas that you focus on, I think, with regards to climate and societal challenges. What you do as well is financing for people. You say for planet and for profit in that particular order. Do you do this via the events, via Nordic Impact Week? How do you do that? How do you bring people together? How do you match companies or startups in say, let's say in Helsinki, which you just mentioned? How do you match those with companies worldwide or investors worldwide? How do you do that?
Well, simple, with a good network.
Good network, yeah. Do you create that network via the Nordic Impact Week, or other ways that you do that?
The basic network is 25 years of investments.
Okay.
That have been opportunity to actually be an entrepreneur and travel around the world. And Nordic Impact Week is a meeting place to bring the right people to make things happen.
Okay.
So yeah.
You're the founder of the Nordic Impact Week, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And did you start that particular for that reason, to bring together companies and investments, or?
Nordic Impact Week is to help support Nordic and Baltic entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs to meet, to do business. There's knowledge transfer. You need to have a lot of inspiration. Yeah. And if you can have immense fun at the same time, things happen.
That happens when you actually meet people, right? Yeah, face to face.
Yeah. So Nordic Impact Week started in Silicon Valley in San Francisco.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
So it's 7 years now. This year in October, given that Corona goes away, we will go to San Francisco and also Los Angeles this year.
When are you doing that? September?
It's in October.
October.
Yeah.
Okay.
So put an anecdote to it. I can help you to find the needle in the haystack in Silicon Valley, given what you need. Right.
And how it's by the contacts that you have and the matchmaking that you do.
It's all about network.
All about networking. Very good indeed. Okay. And what else can we say there? That's it. Just networking, just contacts. Anything else? Any other factors in play? There must be something else in play there. Or?
Yeah, network. You got to have a curiosity to actually wanting to doing it, of course. Yeah. But and then you need to the network is how you actually do it. So introduce to a warm contact, given the fact whether you're a startup or a scale up or whatever type in organization. You want to meet the mayor of Palo Alto, for example.
Yeah.
How is that happening? Well, I happen to been there and then, so I know such and such, and I can do a warm introduction. So it's all about a warm introduction to someone that knows you because you build trust.
Yeah. That makes total sense. I'm sure that everyone could use that. I'm sure as well.
Well, the challenge is to get paid for it, of course.
Yeah. But that was the third part in the order, wasn't it? Was it people and then planet and then profit?
Profit. Well, it's a value you bring. So any kind of startup company, whatever, if you don't bring value, you have no business.
Yeah.
So then you got to look what's the value you bring, and that's kind of this speciality, my strength, to open a warm door, to know where to tap, to find that needle in the haystack, given what you need. I'm looking for a project in Singapore. I'm looking for a partner in Melbourne. I need an investor.
So not just financing, also projects and right. And the companies that you work with, the startups, is that like seed stage, Series A, Series B?
There are from early stage before
seed, pre-seed.
Actually pre-idea, I should say.
Oh, really?
Almost, it could be. Yeah, it's been great to be part of the growth or start or birth of many companies as well, and then following up to organizations and larger companies as well.
Any examples of any companies that you would like to mention, or?
I can mention one Swedish company, a little electric car called Unity. I can mention
Unity.
Unity. They were part of Nordic Impact Week to Silicon Valley 2015, and they sort of broke through. Got immense
traction,
publicity, and traction, and it's just took off for them. Now they are on the way and to do production actually here in UK. I think it's Silverstone. Connections there.
All right.
So they are about to start a small city car, electric car, where they actually have revolutionized the car manufacturing industry from the ground, bottom up, by using new technology and using new materials. And looking into that. So now they're in a stage which is quite challenging as well in this environment to secure financing for the next steps. But that's just one example. There are individuals who has joined as well. So individuals, entrepreneurs who saying it's been changed my life.
Okay. And green energy, have you been involved with that? Solar or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot in solar. Some of the examples is a Swedish company called Absolicon.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do solar thermal, so solar energy, solar heating.
Okay.
When you say solar, most think photovoltaic, electricity.
Yeah.
But that's a simple thing.
Okay.
Anyone can do that, and most Chinese panels do that today, but Absolicon produce heat from solar, so they concentrate the solar sun and heat any kind of fluid that then can run any kind of engine. So and the need for energy, or everybody thinks it's electricity, but the industry uses heat. So the need is 50%, not electricity, of heat, and mainly for the industry in the world. So this is a really untapped market. And there are some great companies in this field, and one specifically from Sweden, which I've been following for 12 years, I think, and that's Absolicon. Yeah.
Since 2008 as well.
Yeah, they're doing great. They have a model where you actually set up manufacturing and produce on the local market. So then they are setting up production in China. They are setting up production in Africa. So you source material and you create jobs locally as well, and you get closer to that market. So it's a kind of a, should we say, next step of a better business model, how you operate as well.
Right. Yeah. That's two examples. That's very good. Let's. We've been talking. You probably don't realize this, but we've been talking for 55 minutes already.
Oh my God!
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Could have been like 15. Huh?
Keep going.
Okay. We'll go to the to something that's really in the news at the moment. The coronavirus. Yeah. Obviously, it's horrible. It's awful, and there's a lot of people are dying. But there's some news in the newspapers. They say some parts of it actually, and we touched on it very early in the conversation, are quite good. We have the canals of Venice. They are running clear. They say like the good old times. There's actually lagoon waters of the ancient times because there's no traffic. There's no one. Everyone's in their house. There's no tourists, and roughly at this time normally it's like 700,000 people a month roaming through the city. Yeah. We also have in China where pollution is just dramatically dropped since everyone has been confined to their house as well, which is logical. But it just, as you mentioned earlier, that's you can see how it actually can be better, and we can learn something from this. And there have been quite a few articles from that as well about the way that the coronavirus has been handled at this point, and quite dramatically and quite firmly, and in most instances, might be a bit slower in some parts and other parts, but they think that climate change and everything around that should really be handled in the same way. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
it's a long question.
As you said, it's what is happening really. Where did it come from? Why don't we have a better healthcare and preventive system to discover this and take care of it in a better way? I mean, that's a lot of open questions. And why does it happen right now with the coronavirus? I mean, there's so much information flowing about it as well.
A lot of fake information as well. Huh?
Well, who can judge? I have to close down a number of these WhatsApp channels and others because there's just floating that, my uncle in there, he's a doctor, and here's some inside information, and this is what you should know about corona.
Yeah.
And since I'm not a doctor myself, I mean, it's hard to really know, and you're not an expert in the field, what is really true out of this. So you have to sort of trust yourself and look at the key, governmental resources and the professionals in this field, and sort of be cautious in all cases, because it's really ugly, it's really dangerous, and I'm sort of really surprised how it's escalated, and it's quite uncomfortable. Right now.
And how they're dealing with it, obviously now is quite rigorous, like confining people to 2 people on the streets, or stay in your house.
I'm really worried about, because right now, what on earth is happening? Basically, they're wiping out democracy in one go. And most countries, or many countries now, have state of emergency laws coming in place, basically ordering you, taking control, to go and stay inside.
Seems to help in China, and at the moment as well, the indications that Italy is slowing down as well, because no one can leave their house. Maybe people are still dying in their house. I don't know.
Well, this is again to be discussed. There are so many stories coming out of China, and what's the really source of it? Why did it start in Wuhan?
Yeah. Do you have an idea about that?
No, I mean, they're sort of claiming, and they're making up stories and saying it's come from water animals, something, at the local market in Wuhan, and that's the story.
What do you think?
I don't believe in it at all.
What do you believe?
Well,
if you want to say, of course.
Who have interest to create this, who knows that? I don't know. On the good parts out of this, since I'm sort of this spiritual in this thing, there's a meaning with everything. So what can we do here about this? It is facts. It's happening right now. And I believe this is the kind of the signal or the starting point for this paradigm shift. And hopefully it's creating more awareness with individuals right now in any home around the world to be more thoughtful and thinking. And I would like to encourage anyone listening to this that, come on, everything you're saying now in all these WhatsApp groups and everything, that we need to care about each other, look after each other. It's all about love. We are one. Everything you see in these groups today. Why don't we do that every day?
Mm-hmm. So that's something that can be learned from the situation.
Not just when Corona and its challenges. That is something we need to embrace every day. So yes, hopefully there are learnings coming out of this, but then we need virtual reality to this. Remember what we said. 1 week we forgot about it, 2 weeks we forgot it all. Yeah. So Corona will for sure blow over. But fundamentally, I believe this is a starting point of a paradigm shift in society at whole, and the world is never going to be the same again.
Okay, that's a good moment to ask you, where can people find you?
Yes, where can you find me?
Where can I find you? You are in Sweden, you are in London, but you have websites, obviously. Yeah.
CleanTechRegion.org.
CleanTechRegion.org.
.org or com, it doesn't matter. Or Lars Ling at Twitter.
Lars Ling at Twitter. I'll put it in the show notes, obviously.
Easiest, yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to say? Anything that you would like to say to the world here? For whoever is listening, of course. Might be a small world.
Thanks. Yeah, I would like to thank you, first of all, for inviting me.
You must welcome.
This is, like we said, coincidence, and it's an opportunity, and it happened. I'm very happy for that you asked. What I would like to say to the world is that we can do this, and there's only opportunities out there for us together. It's for us together to actually it's how we view these things. So every second you can make a decision how you want to view, how you want to act, and you own that thing. So if we want to have a fantastic, flourishing, happy society with nothing else than happiness, and we can do this. So we have it covered. There's nothing to worry about. It's going to be okay.
That's a very positive end note, I must say.
I'm a hopeaholic.
Hopeaholic. I've learned something today. Lars, thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, that was great. That was Lars Ling here in the studio in Chiswick. Fantastic to have him on the show. I'll put all the links in the show notes. You can find the latest news on our podcast on podcast.earth. Thank you very much for listening. You listen to Peter de Vries, and this is podcast.earth.